Why are we still trying to prove ourselves in the big 2025 to others? Like, let's keep it a buck. Why are we trying to prove ourselves to temporary expectations? Why are we trying to prove ourselves to people whose lives aren't going to get affected? Like, why are we trying to prove ourselves to people whose opinions don't matter? So now that we've asked the questions, why the freak are we doing that? Let's really get down to it. When you try to prove yourself to other people, they're just going to keep building a higher expectation on you. And the more that they do that, the more stressed you're going to be, the more you're going to try to prove yourselves, and then you're going to end up overworked, stressed, burnt out, and feeling like you're not worth it. Or you're not worthy. Whatever. You need to understand that whatever you do is never going to be enough for people. And let's just keep it. Whatever you do will never be enough for others. That's why you need to stop trying to prove yourself to other people, and you need to prove those things to yourself. Because only you can give yourself that validation. Only you can celebrate or feel iffy about that failure. Only you have that power to, make you feel a certain way on achievements or disachievements that you've made. Okay? Because look how this works. For example, say your parents want you to have all A's. You make A's and B's. They were like, you need to have all A's. Let's say that you did have all A's, right? Let's say that you did have all A's. Guess what? They're like, oh, congratulations, yay. Okay. But guess what they're going to see? Look how you're making low A's, though. You're making 90s, 91s, 92s. They're going to be like, well, why can't you make higher grades? Why can't you get high A's? Why can't you get 98s, 99s, 100s, 97s? Why can't we get high grades? So now you're not even going to be thinking about the fact that you achieved that expectation that your parents have made, which is have all A's. You achieved that expectation. You got the A's. But now, since you achieved that expectation that they give you, now they're going to be thinking, oh, since she achieved that expectation I expected from her, now we can go higher. Now we can keep going up. Now we can go up. And every time we can just say a random expectation that she needs to do, she's going to do it. She's going to prove it. It most likely won't matter to me, but at least I know she can do it. At least I know she'll do it. When you follow people's expectations so you can prove yourself to them, that's not giving yourself that validation. That's you giving them that validation, because you're validating that the fact that this person has control over you. You're validating the fact that this person can say for you to do something and you're going to willingly do it so you can prove yourself to them. You're giving your energy and your power to that person you're trying to prove. Because let's go back to the parent analogy. You just gave power to the fact that your parents your parent can say how high. They can even give you an expectation that's deemed impossible. Let's say you did get high A's. They'll probably tell you to go higher. They'll probably say, oh, let's get 105s. And then you're going to be overworked, you're going to be stressed, you're going to be cooped up trying to prove yourself to someone to unrealistic expectations. Not even unrealistic. You're going to try to prove yourself to temporary expectations that's just going to keep changing the more and more you do it for them. Because now, the more and more you do it for them, now they're realizing that they have power over you. They have control of your mind. They have control of everything. Because soon as Soon as you don't do this expectation, now they're going to think negative of you, and you're going to take it as the fact that they're not going to like you, they're going to hate you, etc., if you don't do what they say. That's basically what that means. If you don't do what they say, then it's all over for you. When that is not true. Why? Because everybody have their own life. Everybody is their own person. Everybody has their own opinions, goals, etc. So why are you letting someone else whose opinions about you or whatever affect you? When whatever you do to even match that expectation isn't even going to affect them. It's only going to affect you because you are making that decision for your own life, not them. So why are you letting them control you on your life? Something that's not even going to affect them because it's not their life. They wasn't the one who put the action. Yes, they told you, but you were the one who took that and applied it into your own life, which caused an effect. So it's not even affecting their life because they didn't apply it. They just told you. And you took it and applied it. And that can go good or that can go bad. And even if it goes good, you wouldn't feel good because you did it to validate someone else. You did not do it to validate you, which is why you need to start proving yourself. Do things because you want to have expectations for yourself. Have expectations for yourself. Stop choosing things for other people's validation. Basically, if you want to get good grades, do it because you put that expectation to get a certain grade. You want to get this by the end of the month, do it because you put that expectation. Do things because you put that expectation on yourself. Do not do it for others. Because even if you do achieve it, you're not going to feel fulfilled. Why? Because it was never your expectation. It was not even your achievement for real. It was the other person's. Because that's what the other person wanted. That's what they wanted. So you basically did what that person wanted. They basically got what they wanted through you. Through you. Because you weren't the one who put that expectation on yourself. They did. So you just took what they wanted and applied it into your own life. So you did what they wanted for them. And you wonder why do I still feel like I'm not worthy? Why do I still feel like, why does this not make me happy? Because you are not doing it for you. You are doing it for them. You are giving yourself temporary happiness. Because sure, once you do that expectation, you're going to be like, oh, yes, congratulations, yes, this, that, the third. That is temporary. You're going to get temporary happiness. And yes, you might get status. They might see you differently. They might see you better. But that doesn't last. Because then eventually they're going to bring another expectation, and then another expectation, and another expectation. And if you keep doing that cycle, soon as you make one mistake, you're done. You're cut. They're not going to be like, oh, it was just a mistake. I understand. You're still no. All that fantasy, because you reached their expectations constantly that they had, is going to be cut. Because of one mistake. That is why you apply your expectations on yourself. Because once you achieve your expectation from yourself, it's you're happy. You're excited. You're happy that the fact that you're able to achieve this and fulfill yourself and cause it a good effect on your life. Because you achieved it, not because someone else did it. Because you did it. Because you willingly chose to and you willingly did it. It's that simple. Because let me say this. No matter how many expectations that you achieved for other people, or how authentic that you are, or how much of a good person that you are, it will never be enough for anybody. It will never be enough for people. People are always going to have expectations on others. No matter how much you achieve those expectations, there's always going to be an expectation. There's always going to be more. It's always going to get higher. It's always going to multiply. So at that point, you trying to prove yourself to others, it's literally just a waste of time, because it's just going to keep adding up. And it depends how much you do it. The more you do it, the bigger it's going to get. So instead of wasting your time trying to chase and prove yourself to people, it's not even going to affect them for real. You need to do that to yourself. You need to apply that to yourself. You need to put that love in yourself. Because what that's going to do is going to allow yourself to know that you got this, and know that people's opinions doesn't dictate your life. People's perception of you isn't the end of the world. So apply expectations on yourself instead of chasing validation from others, because that is just you running in a circle, chasing your tail constantly. It doesn't do anything. But yes, I hope you guys like this video. I'll see you in the next one.